source of ultimate dankness. Grab some before the Earthlings return.
Oh shit, guys! Quick! Did you guys see that UFO? What the hell did they want here? Son of a bitch, they took all our weed!
If aliens were to ever invade, now's the perfect time to do it.
Right? They would only have to do half the work on the face.
We would never know. I've never seen you before.
Well, there's no saying that there isn't aliens already here that look like us.
Have you watched Roswell? It's a very good story.
Have you watched The X-Files?
Yes.
Please. Please.
I can, hear the tune in my head now.
But you know what goes away with these masks? Dick stamps on the face when you pass out at parties. Because if you draw a dick right by their mouth, it's going to be covered by a mask. So you don't have to worry about Sharpie parties anymore. That is a fear that everybody...
drawing it on your forehead.
That's what a fear everybody needs to live with. Yeah, but then you got hats too.
No, we just draw it on the outside of your mask.
Draw it on your mask and nobody notices, and then you're like, nice dick mask.
Put it on in that invisible ink for someone that works in a club.
Oh, God.
They won't see it going in.
Now you're talking.
See, now that's devious. I like that.
That's some higher thinking right there.
Lemon juice.
National Treasure?
I was to say, grab the Declaration.
Yep. Oh.
But speaking of aliens, though, I mean, alien takeover would be something that's pretty wild. Or even an invasion. Do we have anything to fight off an alien invasion?
Space Force.
Well, this episode's done.
Right?
Steve Carell will save the world.
Well, I mean, think about it, though. Allegedly aliens have crash landed things, this and that. Mm-hmm. The government tells us that, or now tells us that aliens do exist, or UFOs exist.
That's not directly saying aliens exist, because it's just an unidentified flying object.
Sure. But you'd be very small-minded and stupid to think that we're the only life form in the entire space realm.
Oh, absolutely. It's entirely selfish to think we're the only life forms.
But what constitutes life? And that's a really deep question for this particular episode. What's the probability of it being intelligent, sentient life?
That's true.
We're not intelligent.
I mean, the human race, not really scoring high on the list right now.
Mm.
But I do agree. Have we been visited by aliens in the past? Yes, 100%. There's pyramids. And yes, I am doing the thing right now with my hands. Okay. Aliens.
You need a wig.
I do need
to get you a fuzzy wig.
I do need a wig. No, pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
You got pyramids in Egypt, you got pyramids in India, you got pyramids in goddamn Mexico.
It's just the
places
most effective
with a lot of
way
sand.
to make a giant pile of bricks.
True, but who taught them how to do that?
Well, who taught anybody how to do anything?
Who taught the first teachers?
I mean, how far down do you want to go to this? Because
I'm too fucking high for this.
Because everything had to start from something. So who decided what a chair was? Everything stemmed from something. So how far down do you want to go?
And
that's not even this topic.
Oh my God.
Not even this topic.
Well, I mean, there is the theory of our origins being alien related. So in a sense, we are the alien invaders.
Like we just blew here like dandelion seeds?
Fuck.
So let's say we've been visited by aliens, intelligent, sentient life.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, no interest in returning that we are aware of.
True.
Anybody that's been abducted or visited is usually some crackpot. Now, is that... Allegedly. Nobody can get good photos, which is the same thing with going along with Sasquatch and any other,
Nessie.
any other fairy tale creatures.
Right.
All I see is Lord Farquaad. quad now.
But, now that we're advancing in tech and portable cameras and everything, we still can't seem to get good photos of weird shit. Now, when I think of aliens, obviously far advanced beyond our years, and the tech that they would have would be just phenomenal. What's to say that they don't have some form of tech that distorts cameras, no matter how good the quality and things like that?
Every bank robber ever was an alien. They can never get a good photo of.
Have you tried?
How can Disneyland get a perfect photo of me making a weird face at 70 miles an hour on their roller coasters, but they can't get a bank robber that's 3 feet away?
Because the bank doesn't own billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, and they don't give a fucking shit about your money.
Money's insured, whatever.
It's insured.
Pretty much, yeah.
They'll rock security systems from the 90s if that shit still works. It just has to be there. That's it.
It's
there,
so
but
that way
there's no
they
tape.
get a insurance discount.
Yep.
I mean, for some things.
Probably.
If we do have alien tech from let's say, the 50s, the whole Roswell, New Mexico thing.
Okay.
Nobody knows for sure what we have, if we have. Well, okay, nobody that is able to talk about it knows what we have, if we have, all of that sort of thing. But if there were to be an alien invasion, would we be able to fight back and stand up? Like my mind's thinking of, is there secret projects, just like there always is with the government,
Right.
like
51.
like Torchwood. Exactly like Torchwood.
There's a real life Torchwood.
I mean, there could be. You don't
That's why
know.
Kennedy
If none
was
of you
killed.
know what that means, get a fucking life and get some culture. Swine.
But I mean, it'd also be simple-minded to think that the government isn't doing things that they're not supposed to be doing
Well,
and
of course.
experimenting.
Doesn't he have any secrets? You're paranoid.
I'm thinking for some of that, we would have to turn to probably one of my favorite pieces of literature, War of the Worlds.
Okay.
All right. War of the Worlds, the premise was alien invasion. What ultimately defeated these seemingly unbeatable alien invaders was a virus.
Right.
The biological aspect of aliens coming to a alien planet, from their point of view, is the biological risk. Now, I mean, the same could be said in reverse. We're in a global pandemic. You can see how a virus that already existed on Earth has affected the Earth. What kind of virus would they bring with them?
That's true.
It's kind of like what's going on right now with the polar ice caps. So many of them are melting that they're releasing viruses that haven't been around for hundreds of years.
Which means
they're finding live
nobody's
strains
gonna
of
be
like
able to-
smallpox and stuff like that up there. Some people don't vaccinate for that anymore because it's never been a thing, or it hasn't been a thing in a long time. They're finding it, and it's still replicating because they've put it with a bunch of cells to see if it was still active. And oh yeah, it's there.
That's actually scary to think about.
Buckle up, Buttercup. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Oh boy, 2021 just got that much better.
Hooray!
We dodged the murder hornets and the fires, mostly.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't have smallpox on my apocalypse
I didn't
bingo
have
card.
Aliens on my apocalypse bingo card.
Aliens is always on the apocalypse bingo card.
Yeah, they don't
That's
want to
the
come
free
here.
space. That's the free space.
Now, I remember that meme that you sent around. Was it you?
It might be. I
Death
sent one.
breathers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
They inhale something that kills them.
Oxygen.
Stay away from the death breathers.
Let's look at it from a different perspective. So we're the foreigners. We're the aliens in, different galaxy, different planet, whatever. And if our tech is so far advanced and we can essentially see what's going on that planet, let's say, just like, interplanetary news.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking at where we're at and all the shit going on, why the fuck would you want to come here?
I mean,
we're a reality TV show.
That's actually not outside the realm of possibility. I mean, radio waves travel.
They do.
For forever. We've, theorized about, TV shows being broadcasted and still being able to be received.
Mhm.
Haven't they done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not outside the realm of possibility that a civilization advanced enough would be able to receive all of our news reports.
Right.
100%. Yeah, I agree. Like,
but how would they understand?
They're advanced.
Their culture is different. They might not understand English.
No, but you also have to understand that we've been broadcasting for 70 years or more. Longer if you consider radio. So they have an entire history of our civilization that they can listen to.
And figure out that certain things are bad or whatever in their culture is defined as bad or dangerous, things like that.
And let's not forget the internet.
True.
If they're an advanced enough culture, they'd be able to lock into, global internet.
I mean, shit, if we can decode hieroglyphics, I'm sure an alien culture could decode English.
They have serious Wi-Fi.
Who's their provider?
Google.
Right. Speaking of, radio waves and things like that, for a while there, I believe it was like every 3 or so months, we would get some form of radio wave signal from way out where.
I remember
and then
that.
we wouldn't know what to do with it. And then they stopped coming. But it was consecutively happening,
like at the same interval.
At the same interval. Where's that coming from?
It's like every 27 days
knows?
or something like that.
Yeah. I read about stuff like that on occasion where it's, mysterious radio signal coming from the center of the galaxy or, from the middle of our star or whatever. And I do think some of them could be maybe not advanced civilizations, but maybe ones that are just getting off the ground.
I mean, if they're just getting off the ground, that's pretty good to be able to send out that far.
We can't assume that every civilization out there is going to be as advanced as us.
Yeah, exactly.
But what kind of tech would we have to fight against aliens?
I mean, all we have, to our knowledge, is explosives, weaponry, nukes, missiles, bullets.
The physical, tangible.
Yeah, that's as far as we know, that's all we have. I mean, we're certainly getting advanced in the ways of home laser technology.
I was gonna say, we've weaponized lasers to a point.
We have weaponized lasers. I mean, I haven't seen anything too extreme, but you can only do so much with the tech that's available now.
Right.
Not to say that there ain't shit that we can't get a hold of.
Well, and then railguns.
Yeah.
And kind of like a mass driver effect.
Giant railguns.
That could be a factor, because no matter what kind of alien you are, it's pretty hard to dodge, 100,000 tons of force at your face.
It's true.
What if they're
Santar ho.
That's exactly what kind of mine is.
Right.
Those potatoes and armor.
God.
What would you think about an EMP style weapon?
Ooh.
Because their tech may be some form of electrical. It would have to be.
Either bioelectrical or mechanical electrical.
Yeah, some form. So if there was a big enough EMP to basically shut down the entire planet at an invasion,
so you'd lose everything.
We'd lose everything.
That'd be like a scorched earth fail-safe
all
scenario.
Or nothing.
Like, because you're not just knocking them out. You're knocking us out too.
Unless we find a way to.
But we still have.
I mean, that's like the whole plot to the Matrix.
Well, that is true.
I've never seen one of those movies start to finish. I've started almost every single one of them, but I've never finished them.
No, but like
I've never even seen the.
Here's the problem with an EMP. It's not guaranteed to actually kill them.
I'm not saying kill. What I'm saying is disarm.
Yeah.
To where we would still have weaponry that we could use against them. But they
Because
would,
old-fashioned
like
guns.
guns and bullets.
Okay.
Granted, it would totally fuck us, but it's that or be wiped out. Not to say that they couldn't have a second wave coming if, a backup plan or if they lose contact with the first wave. But I mean, that's something else. I'm just saying, though, if we take them out and ourselves out, we still have things to use. They may not.
What's to assume that they're a hostile invasion?
I'm only saying if it was hostile, like they'd come in guns blazing or some form of war or something. But now
Gotcha.
But I'm not saying like if a ship came and landed and whatever, no, obviously don't shoot the messenger.
Right.
But that's what's going to happen if they land in the US. Get off my lawn!
And that's kind of what I'm thinking about is what happens if we cause the invasion by some trigger-happy lunatic. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in the U.S. It could be in one of those other hostile nations out there.
It'll happen in Florida, watch.
Yeah. No, I get that.
They're just looking for their, lost child that was wandering around the galaxy and landed on our planet, got fucking waxed by some warlord in a nation somewhere. Now we're facing a Armageddon-style invasion. It's our fault.
Yep, it would be.
That sounds like Earth.
Right?
Welcome to
It
Earth.
sounds like a 2021 thing to happen, and I just jinxed it. God damn it.
I feel like Earth is like the Compton of the galaxy. You're like, don't go there. Don't go there.
Just don't.
You see that smog trail around that blue marble? Yeah, stay away from that place.
This is Earth. Used to be blue. Now it's gray. We're redecorating.
We're hoping for brown in the next couple of years.
It's filled with a bunch of nasty insects called humans. They're great on toast.
They're very dangerous, though.
Ooh, were you on Earth? You need to get yourself tested.
You need a bath.
There's another factor. All right. So you go the biological route where of maybe, like a virus or a bacterial infection killing the aliens. We could weaponize a virus there. But what about something more environmental, like air quality or something like that? These aliens would have to have some kind of weakness.
True, because they wouldn't be the same as us. Their genetic markup is not the same. Exactly. It may not accept what we have.
Exactly. Like oxygen might be toxic to them. That is a very real possibility. So we disrupt their air supply. Maybe it's not about fighting the aliens themselves, but fighting what they bring with them. I could see that being a thing. We don't necessarily need to have more advanced technology or bigger weaponry. We just need to be smarter than them.
We need to know where the soft spots are.
I agree with that, but I'm more just thinking about straight up invasion. I feel like it wouldn't come out of the blue. Like we'll just be here one day and then a whole bunch of ships are going to start showing up and destroying things. But, if we were to have a hostile style invasion, is that going to be it for the human race?
Like Mars Attacks?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
That was a good movie. I like that movie.
I think there's a lot of what ifs in that scenario. The biggest one's going to be timing. One thing that the human race does very well with is rallying together against a common enemy.
That's very true.
All right. As long as there is a common goal that is in everyone's best interests, typically, there's a large majority of the population that can pull it off.
That's true.
All right. Let's think World War II, some of the other things that have come up around in recent memory. If we have a common enemy to hate, how much stronger would we be?
It'd be like the one thing everybody agrees on. There would still be a group that'd be like, I don't agree with that.
Of course. There's going to be a group that, make peace with the alien. They're literally blowing up our planet. Make peace with the aliens.
What did we do to cause that?
Right.
Which is a valid question. I mean, something's got to stem from somewhere.
right.
And
Who did it?
Yeah, who fucking moved the wrong person?
Fucking Kyle.
But I mean, what if it's something like, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they're just putting in an intergalactic highway?
Mm-hmm.
It's not because Earth was valuable or meaningful in any way. It's because we were the exact opposite. We didn't cause anything. Way. We were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reconciling that.
Maybe we can become a protected species and they just put the railroad or the highway around us.
They just got to put it through Rock Ridge.
Fuck. Now that begs a question. Do we have alien imposters living among us?
I feel like it's a very good possibility.
If so, who?
Well, not really going to be able to tell that. They want to blend in. They're going to make it hard. It's not going to be something that you could easily identify. But with a lot of some of the weird things that go on around certain people or
Florida.
Stories you hear, I mean, what's to say that it's not some extraterrestrial force?
Right? Like I've seen some theories. What was it? Keanu Reeves?
Mm-hmm.
But he never ages.
He never ages.
He looks like he's still in his 20s. I mean, a little bit rougher around the edges.
Like, there's these pictures of like these Keanu Reeves looking people from like historical pictures.
He's a vampire.
It's like, how much of that is humans playing with Photoshop? How much of that is maybe he is just like this immortal person that is, an alien traveler that got lost on our planet, and that's why he's such a good human.
He just keeps starting over.
Yeah.
He just keeps reincarnating. Maybe he's a Time Lord.
Maybe he's RC Christian.
Oh, fuck.
If you don't know who RC Christian is, I suggest you go take a listen of our Conspiracy Theories episode.
Oh, my God.
Did we get it put out yet?
Nah, it'll be put out soon. It'll go out before this one.
Oh, okay.
I definitely put out.
Ha.
But I mean, that does bring up a good point, though. There are a lot of people throughout history that have the same face and all that stuff. I mean, it's genetic lines brought down and all that.
Yeah.
I understand how all that works. I know where PP go. But some of it looks damn spot on. And it's just like, okay, yeah, maybe there is some weird shit.
Right.
And I mean, there's other aspects of that style thinking too, where certain celebrities don't look like what they used to in big ways, not just plastic surgery ways, but big ways. And a lot of stories stem from that it's Illuminati involvement or lizard people.
Yeah.
And it does bring up some questions, because when you look at those photos, you're like, man, that's a noticeable difference. And some of these people, they don't have work done. And you're just like,
How much of that is, again, Hollywood?
Sure.
Camera angles, camera lenses, makeup. Like, we've seen the Marvel movie. Well, some of us have seen the Marvel. There's makeup tutorials on the internet out there, just people just doing amazing things with a little bit of paint on their face. I could see some of that stemming from that.
Well, that's definitely one side of it. And if you're talking in terms of like paparazzi and event photography and all that stuff, that's, possible. I know they touch up all those photos.
But what about all the candids?
But that's just it. If we're seeing the candids, we're seeing them without the makeup on, without the after effects, without the post-production.
Or what if that's what they want you to think, because we have agreements with that race of people?
Who's
Aliens.
they?
Exactly.
The
Who is
lizard
they?
people that live underground.
The lizard people, the extraterrestrial
Doctor Who?
beings.
Yes.
I think that's where the term green card came from.
Little green men.
Little
from
green
Mars.
men. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay. Walt Disney.
cryogenically frozen under the Cinderella castle, you mean?
I mean, maybe he's an alien being.
Why?
Why not?
But why him?
I don't know. Ask him.
Yeah, you know who's a motherfucking alien? Jeff Bezos. Take a look at that dude. That's why he's building all this rocket shit. He's trying to get back home.
He's trying to say, fuck this planet, I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
He knew how to make the most lucrative business so he could get the hell out of here. That's why he was so happy when he got to space. He's like, I'm almost home.
I mean, I have an idea. I mean, what if Jeff Bezos was the biggest piece of shit on his planet? Just this fucking rancid ass turd that nobody liked, and he decided to come to Earth, and all he did was mimic somebody else's idea from his planet here.
Oh, fuck.
And yet he didn't change how the planet sees him. He's
still a rancid ass turd.
Right?
History repeats itself.
Oh, God, you can't scrub that stink off.
I can't wait to get the email from Amazon saying our podcast has been removed.
Cease and desist.
You're no longer Prime members.
Now, what would motivate aliens to invade this planet?
They ran out of oil.
We ain't got none.
I mean,
the biggest
natural resources?
It could be resources. I mean, that would be the biggest thing for invasion. Well, in our mindsets for what we've been bred on is you invade somebody for resources.
Mm-hmm.
So first comes to mind, yeah, definitely resources. Second thing, storage.
Okay. Just the room for expansion.
Yep.
Okay. Which, I mean, room in and of itself would be a resource. So,
sure.
Yeah, logic is following in that train. What about, I wouldn't say necessarily natural resources, but renewable resources, like
if they use oxygen too.
humans.
I would say enslavement of humanity.
Mm-hmm. Labor is a resource.
Labor, yep.
That wouldn't be the first time.
There's a lot of different things. No, because every way I look at it, it's always some kind of resource, abstract or tangible.
Mm-hmm.
What if aliens is why we have religion? There are a lot of religions that have different gods all depicted differently.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those places have pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
What if we're just a social experiment for some higher being that they
or
put
mice in a box
that put, X amount of their people on there and okay, you start a religion, you start a religion, blah, 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 make it your way. And let's see how everything plays out.
Yeah.
Like a game of life.
Yeah.
We're just some giant settlers of Catan for a bunch of bored dudes in their dorm room.
Well, we were just talking about this the other day that I've always thought that to some degree we're in some form of simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were talking about we're just somebody's Sims.
Stop humping the dryer. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm stuck at a wall. But what, we're just somebody's Sims. And then we were talking about, okay, so when you die, Sims over, let's say you caught your kitchen on fire and then you died. And I'm like, well, what happens if you just load your old save file?
Oh, fuck.
See, that's when deja vu happens.
Oh.
That's a glitch in the Matrix.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Or that's what we interpret as dreams. Weird things that happen. Well, some people have pretty vivid dreams of actually doing things.
True. That would explain comas and shit.
Inactive player.
Got tired of that person's life, shelved the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then one day they get nostalgic and they bring it back.
They load the game, but they leave it on pause. Because how many times have we fucking done that?
Right?
So many times.
Especially when I was single. I would do that all the time. I'd load up a game. I'd be playing it until 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd pause it, sleep for a couple hours, wake up, pick it right back up again, keep playing. Oh yeah. That's a coma. So in that regard, we're just basically a giant MMO.
We are a living Second Life.
So we are just brain pilots in a meat mech suit?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Like what we're talking about right now, we were programmed to talk about. There's no such thing as free will.
Hey,
So
the player
but-
probably
but
can't understand us. We
here's
can't
one
understand
factor.
Sim.
We've been smoking weed.
Yes.
This is our random number generator.
Yeah, but see, we've been upgraded to be allowed to smoke weed. We're a higher level now. Once you reach the level 21, then you can buy marijuana.
So how do we beat these aliens? We cheat.
Cheat codes.
Yeah. So what's the Konami code for life?
Well, usually about 5 to 7 tugs.
Oh.
Nice.
So what does it take to be visited? If you notice, a lot of visitors came, or alleged visitors came in less modern times. Now, is there a reason for that? Does it have to do with the times? Does it have to do with the type of people that may no longer be around?
Like certain people are magnets for them.
Mm-hmm. It has been said that certain people do attract.
Mm-hmm. Certain people have a different kind of energy.
Yep.
We'd have to look at the lineage of those people, see if they're in the same family tree.
Or because there was less understood back then, aliens were a convenient explanation.
True.
Okay.
For things that we in the modern times would consider normal events.
So what you're telling me is back then when Billy Bob fucking scored an 8-ball and a 6-pack, when he was getting probed, it was really just by some homeless dude in the alley and not an alien.
That's entirely possible.
And then the bright lights were when the cops showed up.
Or the ambulance.
Seems viable to me.
I think ambulance, because you get picked up by an ambulance, you're in a bright white room, there's things around you poking and prodding you, and you're probably so out of it, they look like aliens.
Or night terrors.
Ooh.
Those are very vivid dreams.
His brother had him bad when he was little.
I've had me some wicked night terrors.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
And
you've been through quite a bit of trauma.
Well, one of the ones that and I don't remember my dreams anymore. This is still one dream, if you can call it that I actually still remember. And we're talking like that. This was from 2009.
So it just sticks with you.
It just sticks with me. And I remember just being so frozen and just sheer and utter, just can't move. The only things I can move are my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is 100% paralyzed. And then you see the shadow people.
Like nocturnal paralysis.
But the things that you see are absolutely wonky.
And a lot of people see the same thing.
And that's what's weird about it. All right. You see, and I can only describe them as the shadow people. And they look like, almost kind of like the microphone. Just like this black silhouette that looks like a funky mushroom dick. All right. And glowing eyes. And they're red.
Mm-hmm.
But not like the blood red, fiery red. Like more like your paper on the wall there.
Okay.
All right.
They're
and the one reason why I remember this particular one so vividly is because I remember seeing in the wall this kind of door open, almost like a part of the wall being lifted, and this bright white light, and more of these shadow people coming through that gate. Never in my life have I ever seen anything like that.
Have you ever had that dream again?
When I was having the night terrors, yes. I've never had anything specifically like that, but have I seen the shadow people again? Of course, yes.
So we've talked quite a bit about aliens and alien takeovers.
They haven't come down and got you yet?
Not yet, no. But we're waiting for Jeff Bezos to show up.
I feel like there's an imposter among us.
You're looking a little sus over there, buddy.
So, what is your take on if there was to be a hostile alien invasion, would we have the know-how to survive, take them out, win, exist?
Or make an allyship with? Absolutely not. We're too disorganized and too scattered. Even if we had the ability
there's not enough people on the same page to be able to pull together any kind of defense.
That is something that we brought up right before you got here.
Which was that if there's a common enemy, a common hate, that we tend to unite pretty well.
Or polarization happens and you have no, we need to embrace them and be their friends.
Also I brought that up. I was like, there's going to be that one group of people that's like,
Yep.
no.
Yeah. And then, yes, the rest of them are going to be like, nope, take them out. And what about the group that wants to learn from them and see, if we go at them with immediate threat, what if they weren't a threat? And by
That was also
provoking them,
Burn the fucking collaborators.
I don't think there's enough general consensus amongst the human populace to be able to do anything productive should it happen.
So do you think that there's anything secretive going on in terms of advanced tech and weaponry, like a Torchwood style?
I think that there's enough evidence out there to dismiss it outright would be foolish.
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty much on point with where we're at in this conversation.
It's like you didn't miss anything. Do you
pretty
have
much.
his phone bugged or something? You were listening to like a pre-podcast?
I said there was a posture among us.
Shh. We don't talk about these things.
That's why she was late. She was spying.
Just got to see what you guys knew.
Should have just used the vent.
Who says I wasn't? Dinner, indeed.
I mean, we haven't redone this ceiling. We can't guarantee it's going to hold more than 20 pounds.
Fair point. And I am definitely more than 20 pounds.
Not by much, though.
Small amount.
I gotta think where we should go from here.
Right?
We were on the topic of the shadow people.
We were on the
Yes.
topic.
Yeah.
of
Like night terror shadow
This is
people.
and this is where what if the aliens don't invade physically? What if they invade via
Consciousness.
another dimension?
Like astral projection.
Well,
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger style.
Ah. Freddy's an alien.
Well, that's terrifying.
You're
First of all.
welcome.
Won't be sleeping tonight, thanks.
Now we're going to go watch Freddy Krueger movies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, anything's possible, really.
This idea stems from my experience of the shadow people and night terrors, right? There's enough descriptions of the same type during night terrors of the shadow people that leads me to believe that maybe that is maybe not necessarily an alien invasion, but maybe you're able to view a different plane of reality to where you're able to see.
Like a different dimension.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, a lot of people whose abductions happen, when do they happen? At night.
Okay.
That's a good point, because we were talking about other people's abductions, but we didn't talk about time of day. But you're right; it is at night.
Almost always at
And
night.
most of the time it's in a rural area.
And speaking of shadow people invading dreams, and going back to us being in a simulation, what if those are the controllers of the simulation? What if they're just doing routine maintenance?
Those are what they really look like, and we're their avatars.
Uh-huh.
It's Norton Antivirus.
No wonder why Earth is fucked up.
Say, did you renew your McAfee subscription or not?
And that's the thing, is you're running both of them at the same time. What the fuck are you doing with your
Well,
life?
clearly, if we're on Norton, it didn't work. We got the coronavirus.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, no, that's it's just you do it, and a lot of them are similar things. They're abductions. Like I said, the lights, the shadow people, the feeling of terror that comes with it, because most abduction stories aren't, oh, it was great, we talked and had tea, and that's not generally how those stories went. So
They asked me how Mick Jagger was doing.
right, probes and all that aside, it does seem the stories do kind of definitely have a lot of the same common threads.
But we also discussed that the people that it has happened to allegedly are usually crackpots.
Or did something malfunction within them and this is the end result?
They're crackpots because they were abducted, not abducted.
I feel like it's usually like the town weirdo, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Were they the town weirdo before it happened, or did it make them?
Yes.
The town
Usually
weirdo?
before it
They're
happened.
usually, because that's why people are so quick to dismiss them. Like, oh, dude's been on the bottle for like 20 years.
Is
Don't
that
pay
by
any mind.
design, though?
Well,
and that's what we were saying from the other side is maybe it was Billy Bob who scored an 8-ball and a 6-pack, got totally obliterated, and just got fucked by the homeless in the alley. And then all the lights they see is when the cops or the ambulance showed up.
Yeah.
mhm.
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Exactly,
either.
because it's always rural. It is always some fucking crackpot.
Fringe members of society that won't be missed.
Or it happens in the desert a lot.
Well, I mean, I consider the desert rural because there's not a lot of people out there. You know,
People go out
rural
there
doesn't
to do a
always
lot of
mean
drugs.
countryside.
Crop circles happen in the countryside just as much as alien abductions happen in the desert. So
Crop circles are really fucking weird.
I think those are faked most of the time, honestly.
There's, they've done a lot of studies and research on them, and there's, a lot of debate both ways, because how can you fake something that intricate in that short of a period of time?
Drones.
There weren't drones then. It's not
Yeah.
something
I
we're
mean, they're
discussing
still
about
happening.
now. Yeah, but
They talk about people being out there, with pressing boards and those kinds of
Mhm.
things, but in those kind of perfect circles
you can't
over
make
that
them.
much of an area to where they look that perfect from the aerial shots.
That's- That brings up
Someone is very
something.
good at math.
the
Not me.
the stone pictures. I think it's South America or Central America. The giant pictographs that are basically just rocks on the ground,
Oh, like the heads on Easter Island.
kind of similar, but they can only be viewed as their intended pictures from the air.
interesting.
And these were made by civilizations that are, long, long gone.
Cough, guidestones, cough.
How would they know that this picture was going to look like this from the ground? Who were they making this picture for?
RC Christian.
Like it has to stand to reason that it would have to be some being up there looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Now we discussed the possibility, it could be gods.
Gods. Like they're actually aliens, but a lot of religions have several gods and they all look, weird.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the aliens.
Zeus, Odin, Jupiter. Mhm.
All I'm saying is that if any of us go missing after this podcast, I'm out.
And none of us would ever unalive ourselves.
Well, I mean, if we go missing, it's probably Jeff Bezos' fault because we bashed the shit out of that dude for about 3 minutes.
Fuck.
We earned ourselves a prime delivery to the next rocket that goes into
Shit.
space that's going to mysteriously blow up.
Oh dear.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
Well, they got drones delivering packages now, so I mean, well, he just bought a Predator.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Looking around rapidly.
Now there is one that we haven't discussed, and that is the Roswell Incident,
Which one?
The big one,
the OG, the one that sticks out in my mind. What was that? 47?
something like that.
51, I think.
Yeah.
Close
It's
enough.
in the
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
Close enough, And we discussed the possibility of the little green men.
Mhm.
What about the little gray men?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the origins of, and it is kind of conspiracy theory now, but I mean, this is the origins of the X-Files, the Men in Black, the Area 51, the little gray men, the stereotypical egg-shaped head with the bug eyes. Like, where does all that come from? Flying saucers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those major incidents. And there's enough evidence that it actually happened for us to, not question the actual incident. But where does that tie into everybody's perception of aliens?
Well, and that's the thing. If It just seems awfully interesting that there's so many stories throughout so many different years from so many different people in so many different areas that there has to be something. That's the only thing that has ever made sense to me, because I don't know a whole lot about it. It was never really a major area of focus for me. Also because I figure I ain't smart enough to figure it out. And if anything does come down, I don't want to know. Take me out in the first wave. But there's too many questions and not enough answers.
The truth is out there.
You know, if I ever did crop circles, it'd look like how trying to draw a dick is on your phone.
I was just going to say.
All kinds of squirrely lines.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
It's vaguely penis shaped, and yet not.
Why is one testicle bigger than the other? They should get that checked out.
Aren't they always?
Now, this is one thing that I've always been curious about. If a civilization is advanced enough to be able to travel to our planet, in whatever form that might be, whether that's physical or metaphysical or extra dimension, I don't give a shit. Obviously, they're advanced enough to understand science and physics and things like that. Why haven't they learned our language?
How do you know they haven't? Fuck. I mean, just because, you know, if we do, we're receiving like those signals we were talking about from outer space, just because we can't interpret them doesn't mean that they can interpret ours. You know, like you said, they have a collection of radio waves of all of our stuff. Like they've probably learned our language if there's extraterrestrial beings out there.
They downloaded Rosetta Stone.
Right?
Hooked on phonics.
But I mean, that's kind of my point. Why wouldn't they attempt to communicate with us in our language?
What do we have to offer?
Fuck all.
Maybe it's a test.
That's something that we've discussed, though. Is what do we have to offer?
Death breathers.
Also came up.
You know, we have either natural resources or labor resources or just space resources by nature of being a planet.
We're a storage unit.
You know? I mean, there's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a good example. Why did he have to leave the planet? They were putting a highway through it. Like, the planet was to be destroyed. We could just be the North-South Freeway.
We should be so lucky.
Right? You know? Spokane can't finish theirs, so the galaxy was just like, fuck you, we're going to put one through anyway.
Ideology fans, do you want to be on Ideology? Have a topic you want to hear us rant about? Drop us a comment on your favorite social platform or visit ideologypodcast.com.